Assalamualaikum and hi to Sir Hazimi. My teammate and I will present about shock absorber replacement for laboratory 3. And my teammate and I consist Anik Haikal, Muhammad Idrus, Siti Khatijah and me which is Muhammad Hafiz. The table of content of the laboratory is divided by 4 topics which is objective, procedure, discussion and conclusion. Objective for this laboratory is to become familiar with the tool used in shock absorber replacement and to practice the proper shock absorber replacement process.
Talking about the procedure of this workshop, Step 1. Prepare 21 mm socket wrench. Step 2. Untighten all wheel and lock nuts. Step 3. Lift up the vehicle using proper vehicle jack. Step 4. Place the jack at proper jacking points. Step 5. Once the car is suitably lifted, put the jack stands for right and left sides of the car. Step 6. Disassemble the wheel by removing all lug nuts using 21 mm wrench. Step 7. Identify 3 nuts on the housing strut that are needed to be removed. Step 8. Prepare 14, 16 and 17 mm socket. Step 9. Use proper wrench to remove all nuts from strut housing. Step 10. Use soft hammer to detach bolt if necessary. Step 11. Make sure all nuts and bolts from suspension are removed. Step 12. Remove any washer and hose that are attached to the strut housing. Step 13. Disassemble the nuts from top strut housing using a proper wrench. Step 14. Use soft hammer to detach the shock absorber from the car body mount if necessary. Step 15. Use a pair of coil spring compressors to compress the spring. Step 16. Use proper wrench to remove the absorber from strut housing and coil spring. Step 17. Check the absorber condition. It is needed to be replaced if damming time is too long. Step 18. Reattach the shock absorber to strut housing and coil spring. Step 19. Remove coil spring compressor. Step 20. Reinstall the strut to the mount by tightening all nuts. Step 21. Assemble the wheel and tighten the lug nuts in cross pattern. The normal torque is between 110 Nm and 120 Nm. Step 22. Finally use the jack to hold the car while removing the jack stand.
For the discussion of this laboratory, the first question is name other tools and alternative methods in replacing shock absorber. The first one is wall mounted spring compressor. As the name suggests, this suspension spring removal tool is mounted to a wall or any other vertical surfaces using bolts. These are normally professional shop tools. The second is floor standing spring compressor. This type of spring compressor features a wide base for stability and adjustable arms to accommodate different size of springs. Just like the wall mount type, the freestanding compressor is best suited for auto shops. And the last one is portable spring compressor. This type of spring compressor is small and portable, making it easy to take with you wherever you go. It has a long threaded shaft that is used to compress the spring and two jaws that lock onto the spring on either side. The second question is discuss the importance of shock absorber periodical check. The first one is shock absorber in automobiles are critical for active safety or the prevention of accidents. They are in charge of maintaining continuous pressure on the road and stabilizing the vehicle while driving. The vehicle remains steady while traveling over a transverse bump and the wheel does not leap after hitting a pothole due to effective shock, shock absorbers. It's also important to keep the wheels in constant touch with the road as the tires are the only points of contact between the vehicle and the road. As a result, if one of the wheels detach from the road or begin to bounce on it, the vehicle will lose a quarter of its contact area. If this occurs in a curve, you may lose you may lose control of the car. In addition, improperly cushioned, unsprung wakes generate large vibrations that are plainly felt in passenger compartment. Another risky characteristic is how a worn-out car suspension reacts after a skid. A vehicle with good shock absorbers maintains its stiffness and can be pulled out of a skid. There is a reason why drift cars have lowered and stronger suspension. So how will a car with severely worn shocks perform? Unfortunately, such a vehicle has a tendency to roll. When the suspension springs are not restrained by shock absorbers, they operate like a catapult, causing the vehicle to roll. A comparable event can occur after a dynamic direction change. The third question of the discussion is what is proper interval time or mileage of absorber replacement in car maintenance schedule? Shock absorbers rapidly lose effectiveness as kilometers and years pass. This is determined by the specs of your vehicle, the environment in which you drive, and how you drive. The notice that the shock absorber has to be replaced. Your vehicle swerves violently and seems unstable from time to time. Next is your car occasionally drifts to the right or left. And the last one is the tires are wearing unevenly or more quickly than before. The safety precaution for this laboratory is the first one is dampers installed under strain or a nut tightened too tightly may cause the stem mount to rip out. Never use impact wrench for this work to avoid material over expansion caused by excessive tightening torques. The second one is always replace both shock absorber on an axle to ensure safe vehicle handling. After replacing the shock absorbers, perform an axle alignment. Then, perform a test drive to ensure that everything is in working condition. The third is, dampers should never be opened or heated. The reservoir tube may burst, causing oil to spill. Gas-filled dampers are under pressure up to 30 bar. The last one is, never throw out shocks recklessly or place them in general rubbish containers. Dampers include mineral oil, which is toxic to the environment if it gets into the soil, groundwater, or rivers and lakes.
In conclusion, we are familiar with the shock absorber replacement tools and have performed the proper shock absorber replacement techniques. We learned in this lesson that there are some safety precautions that must be taken before, during, and after replacing shock absorber. This demonstrates that adjusting the shock absorber is a difficult task that should not be done carelessly. We also learned that the suspension system in a car is important for passenger comfort and safety. Changing the shock absorber must also be verified to ensure that no accidents occur.